Your developer just quoted you $20,000 for your mobile app idea. Another developer says they can build the exact same app for $5,000 using Flutter. What's the catch here, and which one should you actually choose? So what are the differences between the two? Because it's very easy to get bogged down between all these different technical terms like Flutter, no code, lovable, bold, and all these different tools that are coming out on the market in 2026. So let's clear up the confusion between Flutter and Flutterflow. So Flutter is a framework which was developed by Google for building mobile apps by using custom code development, from the ground up. So it's a real programming where you develop the app from the ground up. So developers write it line by line, or with AI of course in 2026. And the advantage here is that you have one code base that works on both iOS and Android. And that's huge because traditionally you need to build twice, one for iOS and one for Android. Flutterflow, on the other hand, is a no-code tool built on top of Flutter. So it's a visual tool where you drag and drop elements, you configure the settings, and it generates the Flutter code for you. Think of it as like the difference between writing an email in code versus writing an email in Gmail. So here's the difference of what matters to you as a founder. Both can produce the exact same end result, a mobile app on both iOS and Android, but the path to get there, especially for your mobile app idea, the cost, the timeline, and the long-term implementation are completely different. And choosing the wrong one can actually set your project back in terms of time and money. Let me tell you why Flutterflow has exploded within the last couple of years. So the first reason being is that the speed of development is insane, because a Flutter developer might take 3 to 4 months to build out your app. A Flutterflow developer, on the other hand, might take 3 to 4 weeks for the same features being developed. Because I've seen apps that would have normally taken 3 to 4 months to develop with Flutter get built within 3 to 4 weeks with Flutterflow. Why is this the case? It's because you're not building thousands of lines of code from scratch from the ground up. Because with Flutterflow, you're configuring with pre-built components visually. So it's like building with Lego blocks instead of carving out each block from scratch. The second reason being is that the cost difference is massive. So a custom Flutter app might cost between $10,000 to $20,000. The same app built in Flutterflow might cost only between $5,000 to $10,000. So you're looking at around about a 50% cost reduction saving, sometimes even more, building the same app within Flutterflow. And the third reason is that changes are incredibly fast. So if you need to change a button color, adjust a workflow, add in a new screen, in Flutter, a developer needs to write the code from scratch, test it, and deploy it. In Flutterflow, you change it visually and push the update within minutes. This is massive for iteration, because you can literally respond to user feedback and within the same day instead of 20 more weeks for development. But this is where it gets interesting and expensive, because I learned this the hard way, because I literally tried to build a Bluetooth app in Flutterflow without writing a single line of code, and I actually made a whole video about this on my channel about my experience. Everything seemed great until I actually needed the Bluetooth functionality to be implemented and working. Flutterflow wanted to charge me $400 just to use the library for Bluetooth functionality in my project. $400 just for a Bluetooth library in my project. For something that's freely available in the Flutter ecosystem, this was a kind of a joke to me, to be honest. And this is the hidden cost structure that nobody tells you about. Flutterflow charges for premium features and integrations. You think you're saving money in building Flutterflow, but then you end up getting hit with these paywalls for functionality and libraries that would have been free in the regular Flutter app development environment. And this is literally happening across the board, because if you need advanced API integrations, that's going to be an extra cost. Want certain plugins, that's going to be an extra cost. Need custom actions, you're going to need the enterprise plan, and so on and so forth with the price add-ons that kept happening with Flutterflow. So that $10,000 to $15,000 Flutterflow project, it can actually quickly become a $20,000 project in the end, or a $25,000 project in the end, just so you can add in all these APIs that are required within the Flutterflow environment. And here's the real issue, right? You don't actually know what you need until you're actually already deep in the project, and then you're stuck choosing between paying for Flutterflow's premiums or abandoning your progress and starting all over again within the Flutter framework. This is why custom Flutter development can make a lot more sense for founders if you think. And I'm going to give you a few reasons for why this is the case. So the first reason is that you own everything and there's no hidden costs when you develop an app with Flutter. With Flutter, every library, every plugin, every ecosystem is available to you. There are no paywalls, no surprise charges. The developer can use whatever tools that they need without asking for permission or paying for extras. The second reason is that you need complex custom functionality. So say for example, with my example again, so if you're building something with Bluetooth, IoT connections, complex animations, advanced real-time features, or anything that requires custom architecture, Flutter is often cheaper than Flutterflow in the long run, especially when you factor in all the premium add-ons. The third reason being is the performance and optimization, because Flutterflow generates the code, but it's a lot of the time it's actually not optimized. Custom Flutterflow can be fine-tuned for performance in ways that Flutterflow cannot match. For apps expecting heavy usage or complex operations, this actually matters a lot, especially when it comes to deployment and when the app has thousands of users all using it at the same time, especially if it's a social media app as well. And the reason number 4 is the long-term scalability. So if you're planning to grow significantly, a custom Flutter app gives you a code base without scale, without platform limitations. No wondering whether Flutterflow can handle this. It can, because developers have full control of the Flutter app from the ground up. And the 5th reason is there's no platform dependency, because with Flutterflow you're locked into the platform, their pricing and their ecosystem, and as well as their decisions as well. If they raise their prices or they shut down, worst case scenario, you're going to be stuck. So with Flutter, you own the code outright and there's no platform risk, especially when you're developing your Flutter app from the ground up. So here's my honest recommendation, right? So if your app is very basic, Flutterflow is fine for you guys. However, if your app is a bit more complex and you're expecting your app to be a lot more complex and having like thousands of users using your app at the same time, a Flutter app built from the ground up might be a better solution, because the $5,000 to $10,000 you spend actually building your app with Flutter actually pays for itself, because you're not hitting premium paywalls or rebuilding later because you outgrew the original Flutterflow ecosystem. Because here's the unfortunate truth that most developers won't disclose. Flutter developers might push you towards custom app development from the ground up, even when Flutterflow would work fine, because they would make more on money on the custom code app development for your mobile app idea. However, on the other hand, Flutterflow developers might downplay the limitations and the paywalls of Flutterflow and the premium costs as well, because they've really invested in the Flutterflow ecosystem and they just want quick projects to work on, so they can just do the project and quickly move on from your project and all that. Because the truth is that it's actually somewhere in the middle, right? Because you need a developer who has both the experience and who's honest about both options and which option is actually best suited for your mobile app idea and specific situation. Because Flutterflow looks cheap until it isn't. Flutter looks expensive until you realize you're actually buying freedom and actually avoiding the hidden costs that come with Flutterflow app development. So for simple apps with some very basic features, Flutterflow is fine and it can work out well. But the moment that you need anything beyond the basics, especially like hardware and IoT integration, which is what I specialize in, Flutter is usually the best and better and smarter investment. So if you guys need any help in regards to choosing between Flutter or Flutterflow for your mobile app idea, I would invite you to click on the link below to book in a free call with me to discuss how I can personally help you decide between the two and actually help you build your mobile app from the ground up. And if you're interested in working with me, jump on that call, because I only work with a maximum of 2 people at a time for maximum time and attention for your project. So thank you for watching today's video. If this video has helped you all out a lot, don't forget to smash the like button down below, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.